For over 150 years, the classroom has been trapped in a time loop. One teacher, 30 students, one textbook. A single straight line that everyone is forced to walk, whether they're a sprinter or a stroller. We've swapped chalkboards for smartboards and notebooks for laptops. But the fundamental system, the one-size-fits-all factory model of education, has remained stubbornly frozen in time. Until now. Because this isn't just another tech upgrade. This is a demolition. The very foundations of how we learn are being torn down and rebuilt by a force that doesn't need to sleep, never gets tired, and can cater to 1 billion students as easily as it can cater to one. This is the dawn of artificial intelligence in education, and it's about to unleash the biggest change to learning in human history. But this revolution doesn't start with futuristic robots teaching classes. It starts with something much more personal. By finally killing the idea that every student should learn in the exact same way. The single greatest failure of our old system is its inflexibility. It's designed for the average student, which means it serves almost no one perfectly. Some are bored, waiting for the class to catch up. Others are lost, struggling to grasp a concept before the teacher is forced to move on. AI obliterates this problem. Think of it like a personal trainer for your brain. Imagine you're a student learning algebra on an AI-powered platform. You're trying to solve for X. You get it right on the first try. The old way, you wait for everyone else. The AI way, the system instantly recognizes your mastery and serves you a more complex problem. Maybe one that applies the concept to a real-world physics challenge. It keeps you in that perfect zone of difficulty and engagement. But now, you hit a wall. You get a problem wrong. The AI doesn't just mark it with a big red X. It analyzes how you got it wrong. It sees you misunderstood a core rule about negative integers. So instead of just repeating the same problem, it pivots. It might show you a quick 30-second animated video explaining that specific rule. Or it might give you a series of simpler foundational problems to rebuild that weak spot in your knowledge. This is called adaptive learning. It's a continuous, real-time feedback loop between you and the learning material. No one gets left behind, and no one is held back. Education stops being a monologue delivered by a teacher and becomes a personal dialogue. But what if this dialogue could happen anytime, anywhere, with an infinitely patient expert? What if the solution to one of education's biggest bottlenecks, homework, was finally here? It's 10 p.m. You're stuck on a history essay or a chemistry equation. Your parents don't know the answer, and your teacher is asleep. This is the lonely island of homework, where curiosity often goes to die. But now, you can open a new tab. Welcome to the age of the 24/7 AI tutor. Platforms like Conmigo or other GPT-powered learning assistants are a complete game changer. They don't give you the answer, that would be useless. Instead, they act like a Socratic guide. You can ask it, "I don't understand the main causes of the Peloponnesian War." The AI won't just list them, it will ask you back. "Great question. What do you know about the relationship between Athens and Sparta before the war? Let's start there." This creates a shame-free space for inquiry. How many times have you been afraid to ask a dumb question in class? With an AI, there are no dumb questions. You can ask it to explain a concept 5 different ways until it finally clicks. You can drill yourself on a single math formula with 50 different examples until it's burned into your brain. This is a level of personal attention that was previously only available to the ultra-wealthy who could afford private tutors. Now, it's becoming accessible to anyone with an internet connection. This all sounds amazing for the student, but it raises a terrifying question for the most important person in the classroom. What happens to the teacher? The common fear is that AI is coming for teachers' jobs. But that's a fundamental misunderstanding of what a teacher actually does. The reality is, AI isn't here to replace the teacher, it's here to liberate them. Ask any teacher what drains their passion, and they'll tell you it's the mountain of administrative work. The endless grading, the repetitive lesson planning, the data entry. This is the drudgery that steals time away from actual teaching. And this is exactly what AI is perfectly designed to automate. Imagine automated grading. Not just for multiple choice quizzes, but for essays. AI can check for grammar, structure, and even a basic level of argumentation against a rubric, giving instant feedback to students and saving a teacher dozens of hours per week. It can act as an intelligent assistant for lesson planning. A teacher can say, "Generate a 45-minute lesson plan on photosynthesis for 6th graders, including a hands-on activity and a short quiz." The AI can draft a creative, engaging plan in seconds, which the teacher can then refine and perfect. Most powerfully, AI gives teachers educational superpowers. It can analyze class-wide performance data and create a simple visual dashboard. Instead of spending hours sifting through gradebooks, a teacher can see at a glance, 70% of the class is struggling with this specific concept. I need to reteach it tomorrow. Or, these 3 students are falling behind. I need to pull them aside for some one-on-one help. By offloading the robotic work onto a machine, we free up the teacher to focus on the deeply human work that no AI can ever do. And that transforms the very nature of the classroom itself. For a century, the teacher has been the sage on the stage, the primary source of information, broadcasting knowledge to a passive audience. AI flips that script entirely. With AI tutors and adaptive platforms handling the direct instruction and practice, the teacher is free to become the guide on the side. Their role shifts from being an information dispenser to being a learning architect, a mentor, and a coach. Class time is no longer for listening to lectures about things you could have read in a textbook. It's for applying that knowledge. The classroom becomes a workshop for human skills. It's where students, coached by the teacher, engage in complex group projects. It's where they learn to debate, to collaborate, to analyze complex problems with no easy answer. The teacher's new job is to foster what AI can't replicate: empathy, creativity, critical thinking, and communication. They are there to ask the challenging questions, to push students to think deeper, to manage social dynamics, and to inspire a genuine love of learning. In a world saturated with artificial intelligence, the teacher's role in cultivating our humanity becomes more critical than ever before. This new kind of classroom requires a new kind of curriculum. If you can ask an AI for any fact in the world, what's actually worth learning in school anymore? The old curriculum was built on a foundation of scarcity. Information was hard to find, so you had to memorize it. Dates, facts, formulas. Your brain was a hard drive. That era is over. In the age of AI, the value of rote memorization is plummeting to zero. The curriculum of the future is shifting from knowing that to knowing how. Instead of memorizing the causes of a historical event, a student will be asked to use AI tools to analyze 3 different primary source documents and build an argument for which cause was most significant. Instead of memorizing the periodic table, they'll use a simulation to see how different elements react with one another. The focus is shifting to what we now call durable human skills. These are the things that make you valuable in an AI-driven economy. But there's a new subject that must be added to this list, one that might be the most important of all: AI literacy. Students can't just be passive users of this technology. They have to understand it. They need to learn how to write effective prompts to get the most out of an AI. More importantly, they need to learn to be skeptical. They need to understand that AI models can be wrong. They can reflect biases from the data they were trained on, and they can hallucinate or make things up entirely. Learning to use AI isn't just about efficiency. It's about learning to partner with an incredibly powerful but flawed tool. This all paints a very optimistic picture, but it would be dangerously naive to ignore the serious ethical minefields we have to navigate to get there. This powerful technology comes with a dark side. To personalize learning, AI needs data, a lot of it. Every click, every answer, every mistake a student makes is a data point. This creates a privacy nightmare. Who owns this data? The school? The tech company? How is it being protected from hackers? Could a student's 3rd grade struggles be used to profile them and affect their chances of getting into college 10 years later? These are not small questions. Then there's the problem of algorithmic bias. AI systems are only as good as the data they're trained on. If an AI is trained to grade essays primarily on papers written by students from affluent schools, it might unfairly penalize the writing styles of students from different cultural or economic backgrounds. The very tool designed to create equity could end up reinforcing old inequalities in a new high-tech way. And perhaps the biggest hurdle is the digital divide. The vision of an AI tutor for every child is beautiful, but it assumes every child has a laptop and high-speed internet. If wealthy schools can afford premium AI platforms while poorer schools are left behind, AI could become the greatest source of educational inequality the world has ever seen. These challenges are real, and solving them is just as important as building the technology itself. The change is here, and it is not reversible. The classroom of the past is fading away, and the new era of education is dawning. It's a future that promises a learning experience more personal, more engaging, and more equitable than ever before. But it's not a future that will happen automatically. It requires us to be thoughtful, to build strong ethical guardrails, to demand transparency, and to ensure that these powerful tools are used to lift everyone up, not just a select few. Education will never be the same again, not because machines are taking over, but because humans are finally being empowered. We are on the verge of creating a world where the primary goal of education is not to create cogs for a machine, but to cultivate what we were all born to be: curious, critical, creative, and profoundly human lifelong learners. If you want to dive deeper into how technology is reshaping our world, consider subscribing for more videos like this. Thanks for watching.